Today, we're talking all about how you are not a number. And you guys, I am going to give you a quick win to finding your happiness that's not defined by numbers. I know when we talk about mindset or we talk about purpose driven identity stuff, like it can get in the weeds and it can get deep. But today, I'm just going to give you a simple, quick win to learning who you are that does not equate to a number on the scale. Let's get the episode started. Hey girl, welcome to the Her Best Self podcast. I'm Lindsay Nickel, former competitive figure skater and perfectionist, turned God-led imperfect boy mom and digital CEO. If you find yourself constantly thinking about food and wondering if you'll wake up one day free from the obsessive thoughts and behaviors controlling your life, then I've created this podcast for you because I know exactly what it's like to be a downright hot mess trapped in a destructive cycle of disordered eating. I finally found freedom, and you can too, girlfriend. So if you're ready to heal your relationship with food and body and break the chains of control and show up in your best health, then grab your favorite Tarjay journal and let's get to it so you can start living your best life as your best self. Hey girl, hey, welcome back. And today's episode is all about numbers. Well, sorta, kinda. I mean, I'm gonna bring it all together here. Your worth is not defined by your weight. You are not a number. I want to start today's episode by just simply asking a question. What if you went your entire lifetime not knowing your weight? Would you love yourself more? This episode is going to be all about how you are not defined by a number and how your worth is not solely dependent upon the gravity here on this planet. We get hit since birth with numbers. You know, the number on the scale, the percentage that we scored on our test, our IQ, what pant size we are, what measurement our waist is, how many Instagram followers we have, or how many Facebook likes we get, what our credit score is, our money in the bank. But none of these things equate to our identity and our worth as a person. Numbers don't have feelings. They don't have desires. They don't have dreams. And when you're constantly obsessing about the scale, or when you are constantly obsessing about numbers, this is when you are putting all of that focus and that shift of your identity into a false identity. I work with clients really to focus on that false identity and get them back to seeing the truth of who they are. You can realize that truth too. Your worth is not dependent on anything that you need to achieve, on any tangible item. Again, it's simply there. Your worth is there because you're here, because you exist. So today, I just hope that this episode encourages you and that you can really allow yourself grace, compassion, and kindness at some of those deep, dark places in your heart when you feel completely out of control. My friend, I am going to share just an experience with you today and just get real with you on during my battle and struggle with anorexia and how my worth was completely dependent upon what number I saw on that scale. Completely dependent upon it. Every single day, I would wake up and weigh myself. And if my weight was not less than it was the day prior, I would restrict more food. I would beat myself up, and I would use food as a punishment to get myself that controlling sense of like false control, an illusion. For years, my worth in my mind was dependent upon my weight. But you guys, worthiness doesn't have a prerequisite. You are valuable just because you're here, just because you are. You are not your body. You are so much more than your body. Your body's going to change. Your weight is going to change. And for years, I spent my life in that place of constant obsession that I had control over my calorie intake, my weight. I had control over all of it. But you know what? The saddest thing about that false belief is that I can't go back and take those years back from me. and my life. And all that time I spent obsessing around all of those things, all it did was take my power away from understanding who I truly am, my true worth. All numbers did for me was create that continued cycle of struggle and obsession and struggle and obsession. You're not dependent upon anything other than knowing your identity and worth is not found on material things. It's not found on numbers. You're not a number. When you know your worth, you get that freedom I valued so much during that time in my life of what other people thought of me. All that negative attention of like, oh my gosh, Lindsay, like you look so small, I took as a compliment. Maybe some of you are doing that right now. You are powerful. You are unique. You're special. There is not one other person out there that is you. When we are living in this state of constant obsession and trying to define who we are based on the number that we see on the scale, you're actually giving away your power. It's almost like I look back on those times in my life and it's almost like I want to extreme depths for a number, but no number made me whole. It was never going to be enough, you guys. And that's what's so crazy and so powerful about, the mental illnesses of what disordered eating and then eating disorders can do to a person. If this is you right now, my heart is breaking because I want you to know that there is freedom from this place. I've experienced it. No number was ever going to give me that feeling of wholeness. It was never going to be enough. It was 130, 125, 120, 115, 110, 105, 100, 95, 90. Your body weight is the composition of your bones, your moisture, your muscles, your organs. This episode really is just like an episode of truth because I feel it in my heart that someone is just spending so much time, and hopefully this resonates with you, on numbers, like this constant obsession around a number on a scale, a pant-sized number, a number providing a value. But guess what? You're already valuable. You're already enough. Numbers don't matter. Your influence does. You were created on purpose for a purpose. And how can you expect to live into that purpose if all of your energy is spent on trying to control and give your power away for numbers that do not equate to any worth? You are not fat. You have fat in your body. Your body needs fat for survival. You also have eyelashes in your body. Your body needs eyelashes. Everything in your body, on your body, a function of your body is part of your body. And you are so much more than your body. The problem is not the scale nor how much you weigh is going to change that understanding or that level of perception and belief until you start realizing and making a choice of putting your worth into something that cannot be changed. Your worth is not changeable. Numbers don't have feelings. Numbers don't have desires. Numbers don't have dreams. Numbers don't have a future. You guys, if I had continued putting my worth and value on what number I could get to next, whether it be the number on the scale, the number on a test, or the number, being number one. Like, I know all of you that are in sports or just like a high achiever in general, like you always want to be the best. You always want to be the best. But when you put all of your energy and your focus on what the best means, you're putting all of that power for your purpose, your influence, your uniqueness into a place that is now controlling you. What if you went your entire lifetime not knowing your gravity point? Would you love yourself a little bit more? Friends, I'll be honest with you. I do not weigh myself anymore. It does nothing productive for me except tell me today what my gravity point is on this planet. And so I decided a long time ago that I was not going to allow a number to take away my inner peace. As long as I know that I am nourishing my body, that I am providing care to my body, that I am giving my body those nutrients that it deserves, actually needs, and to thrive and function, then I know that I'm doing my job, and I know that I am far away from that small, still voice in my mind that tells me I'm not worthy enough to eat. You don't get an award for being invisible. You don't get an award for that number. You just don't. And I think what changed for me, so many of you might be wondering, like, well, how do you stop this? Because that's right where I am. And I think what changed for me, I realized that I was more miserable at my lowest weight than I ever was at my highest. What was I searching for? What was I getting out of all of this? What was I producing that was good from being smaller? I still didn't enjoy my body. I still didn't appreciate what it was doing for me. I couldn't even function enough to have like a normal day-to-day life, right? So like what was I doing? How did I feel at my smallest was more miserable than I ever did when I was a normal weight or healthy weight. Or so that was the turning point. I realized like this is just never going to be good enough. It's always going to be another number. What we're doing in that state of mind is it's no longer about the number. It's about the desire to be better, to do better, to place our identity in something that's not even a standard that's rational. Our bodies change throughout our entire lifetime. Our body's weight is based upon the composition of moisture, organs, fat, muscles. We're trying to control what wasn't meant to be controlled instead of living and finding happiness through our purpose. I work with clients every single day to navigate that belief, that identity, those thoughts, and to really change their behaviors, their patterns, their habits, to rid their life from this, because it doesn't go away, right? Like it's always there. When I realized that I was no longer going to allow that power to have power over me, like I wasn't giving it away to anybody or anything, the scale, right, was when I was able to receive it myself. I was able to give myself that power, that compassion, that grace that I had been restricting from and punishing myself from for so long. So if this episode has helped you, or you struggle with believing this is just how it's always going to be for you, then I encourage you today to really sit with that and challenge that belief. This is who you may have been. Maybe you put all your value on other people's opinions of what you look like. Maybe you seek that affirmation, or maybe you just feel like you'll never be small enough or good enough or worthy enough. But the truth is, if your worth was found in your weight and the goal was to be smaller and smaller, then wouldn't that mean that your worth essentially becomes invisible? I don't know about you, but that doesn't sound like an identity that I would want to have or value. So if it's not a matter of how long you're dealing with this, friend, it's really a matter about how much longer you want to deal with this. I want you to know over and over and over, if I can get past the struggle of measuring who I am and valuable as a person with what that number said on the scale, then you can too. You are worth far more than rubies. You are beautiful. There is no flaw in you. You're a masterpiece. You are loved. You are accepted. You are wonderfully made. You are free. You are chosen. You are not a number. What you can do from today's episode is essentially know in your heart, you have the power to choose where you give your power. You have the power today to say, I no longer am placing my worth on a scale, on a pant size. I no longer am I letting that define who I am in my heart. Your scale doesn't measure your kindness. Your scale doesn't measure your passion. It doesn't measure your purpose. You were created and put here on this planet for a purpose. And maybe you're missing that purpose because you're caught up over here on what Vogue is telling you you need to be. I went to insane depths searching for a number that was never going to give me peace. You're not a number. You are loved. You are worthy just as you are because of who you are. If this episode touched your heart today, I encourage you to share it with a friend or send me an email at info@lindsaynickel.com. I know that as we talk about some of these very intense subjects when it comes to our bodies, our relationships with our food, sometimes it can be really deep. And so I just want to encourage you, if you are trapped in this destructive cycle of disordered eating, to get support, to reach out. You can send me an email, and myself and my team will be happy to support you on your journey. I provide personalized coaching just for you, and I only have a couple slots left. So if that is something you're interested in, please reach out, info@lindsaynickel.com, and we'll get you on the calendar. If you are experiencing signs and symptoms of having an eating disorder and you feel that you need to talk to a mental health professional, I encourage you to navigate that as well. There's so much support in this arena, and you guys, that is the first step for making the choice to better your life and to create a life that you ultimately deserve to have. Friend, I encourage you today, open up your heart, make the choice to stop putting your value and your worth on something that is forever going to change, and to start seeing you for who you are just because. That's all for now. Talk to you soon, girl. Oh, friend, thank you so much for letting me share what was on my heart today. My hope for this podcast is to help more women find freedom from food and body. If this has empowered or blessed you, let me know. I'd be honored for your rating and review of my show, and I'd love to connect with you in my private Facebook community. You really can move from perfection to purpose. Let's break the chains together. I'll help navigate the way. Until next time, bye for now, girl.